When you get sunburnt, like, you go golfing or you're out on the lake or something and you get a bad tan line, like, you just have to own it. Like, I'm not going to change my outfits around it. I just own it. Well, for everyone, welcome. It's Case of the Mondays. We're here and we have a very busy weekend, but we had to work in recording because we took a break last week. So sorry we took a break.
And we didn't tell you.
We didn't tell anyone. I had people reaching out that were like, where's our episode? And I was like, oh my gosh, we've let you down. So I apologize to the fans.
So like, we have to do this week. Oh my God.
You can blame it on me. It was my birthday week and I was selfish. And I was like, it's my birthday week, the holiday weekend. I don't want to record this week. Not that I don't like you guys. I was just like, I just kind of want to drink and be me. So
yeah, I just need to be me, guys. No, I miss you guys.
Yeah, sometimes, guys, we need a break to like reset and come back so we can bring the good content. So you're welcome. Essentially,
and actually, my story for this week, which Jordan already knows it, I heard over the weekend, so it's kind of a blessing. I'm really excited about this one.
Essentially, we needed it, so you're welcome.
You're welcome. Oh my God.
So we have a busy day today. So we have Miller's birthday party here in like 3 hours. So, we will literally get off recording and then be scrambling around town, picking up things and getting ready. And it's for a 2-year-old's birthday party. So he's napping, he's getting rest. So we can have a good day at the park. And then we're getting pizza and beer after his birthday.
And possibly downtown days if you are in Lee Summit.
Yes.
I'm talking about. So very excited.
Downtown days is lit. It's lit. So we're old, so we're like, ooh, let's see how we feel after these events because we may be tired. So
yeah. That's why I was like, Clayton, we have to do downtown days on Friday because I don't know if we'll actually make it to Saturday, but at Stewie's there is, and this will have already happened, but there's a really good band that I like that is playing at Stewie's tonight. So I'm like,
who's playing?
Grand Villanova.
What?
Do you know who that is? No. Molly and I are literally like groupies for this band. Like we follow the Facebook page. Whenever I'm in town over the summer, I'm like, okay, where are they playing? And over Memorial Day weekends, I think they were at the lake, like at the Lake of the Ozarks. So they weren't playing at Stewie's, but then last night, so we went to,
That's so funny.
We were like the oldest people there, but it was so fun. But we were listening to the band and we're like, oh, like actually we got there right as they like started to take a break. So it took a second for them to come back on stage. And the lead singer is like, oh, I'm sure everyone's going to know this one. Plays a full song, but there's no words. Like it was just like, bow, 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 bow. No singing. And I'm like, everyone knows this song.
I thought it was like da 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 tequila or something. No. At least that has one word,
It was no singing.
But did anyone know it? Did anyone know it at all?
No, because it's all kids that are like 21, 22. And the band was pretty young too. So, I mean, they sounded great, but I was like, okay, cool.
Well, I'm happy you found a local band that you love.
That I love. Yes.
I love it. Emily's sister's band that we saw. Well, you weren't there, I guess, for Peyton's birthday. They're good. They're the Crossroads Sound. So, but they're good. They're my favorite local band. So there's your plug.
Nice.
Jenny.
Oh my God. Too good.
What did you put Clayton to do while we're recording? Because Clayton's in town. I assume he's in the other room. Ashton's making him just chill while we record.
No, actually he came in. Actually, it was really sweet. He came and surprised me on Thursday. I knew he was coming in town this weekend for Miller's birthday party, but I didn't know when. And so Dad and I show up to the yacht club to go to dinner. And I'm just like looking for tables, whatever. And I see this guy sitting at the bar, just the back of him. And I'm like, oh my God, I think that's Clayton. And I go to check his location. It like wasn't working. And Dad walks inside. So I'm like, hey, I think Clayton, like, is Clayton at the bar? And Dad turns around and we start walking towards the bar and he's like, that's not Clayton. I'm like, I've seen that outfit like once a week. I know that's him.
You're like, no, it's one of his 4 shirts.
Signature. Yeah. And sure enough it was. So yeah, no, I'm really excited that he came in town early. So then we got to do some like fun stuff yesterday. I had to work like the full day. I was just like, work has been crazy this week. And so he ended up going to a brewery in, I think in Grandview by himself.
With Dad? Oh, by himself?
Yeah, because we're all busy.
I told him to come golfing with us. He could have come golfing with us.
I know. I think he felt
He's
weird
so funny.
about it. Yeah.
Well, you know
But
what?
no,
It
so
worked out because Bannon last minute was like, I'm having the worst heartburn, like,
yeah.
So, but it was literally like last minute. And so I wasn't about to be like, Clayton, can you be here with your golf clubs in 10 minutes? Like, so it
Yeah.
was fine. But that course was not like, you don't have to put this on there, but that course was really fun. And even Taylor basically just like chilled, like,
The videos were so funny.
wasn't it fun? We had so much fun. Like I was like, okay, we have to do this with Clayton and Peyton, and you can come and we can just drive around and just be silly. But like
Yeah.
the dress code with like some golf courses, like it's like you have to wear a polo, you have to wear like,
Mhm.
whatever. And this, like, I thought I was gonna be underdressed, like for sure, but there were people like in cutoffs and like t-shirts, which I was like, this is how a golf course should be. Like this is we're
Yeah.
outside, it's hot, like
Yeah. Oh, that's
so-
awesome.
because like what I did was I had like a nicer shirt over like it was not this tank top, but it was one similar. So I had a shirt over it just to like tee off by the clubhouse. And then I was like, oh, by the time we get to like hole 2 or 3,
Took a top off?
I'll take it off so I don't get bad tan lines. But I realized I could have just worn this and it would have like they didn't give a shit. So
Yeah.
but they did inspect our cooler, like not inspect, but they saw we had a little cooler and they were like,
Uh-huh.
just so you know, we don't allow like outside alcohol, which anyone that golfs always brings outside alcohol because it's expensive from the clubhouse. I know it's
Yeah.
super expensive, but we shoved as much beer in our bags as we could and then just had like it was so obvious because it was like 2 Uncrustables in this
whole
cooler
cooler,
that
and you're
fits
like,
like
yeah.
10 beers. We were like, no, it's just for our snacks. Like he didn't look inside, but I was like waiting for him to look inside and be like, really, that whole cooler for 2
Mhm.
sandwiches? Like that just seems like kind of ridiculous. So-
Yeah. Oh my God,
But
that's
yeah.
so funny.
but yeah, no, it was funny. And like we even went like Taylor was like, no, we're going full John Daly. Like we like bought visors and she
Uh-huh.
brought like cigars and stuff. Like, and I was like, I'm not smoking that, but I'll take a photo with it.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
So we did. We went full like Taylor put like some cigs in her visor and like
Well-
every time she shot, she had to have it in her mouth. Just
It made her
because-
shoot better.
yeah. So no,
Oh
and
my
we
God.
like, although I will say, other people, there was definitely groups like we saw teeing off as we came back that were more like us, like the party crowd, and like
Mhm.
it was cool. It was so chill that we just had like we brought speakers and we're just like blasting music from our carts the whole time because like some
Yeah.
courses are nice and they don't let you do that because it's like you have to be quiet,
Mhm.
But this was definitely like the party course vibe, which
Where
I
was
like.
it at?
It's Country Creek. It's technically Pleasant Hill, but it's like
Yeah.
when you're leaving mom and dad's on your way to my house down 291, it's literally right there. So it's only
my
10
God.
minutes from my house, probably another
Yeah.
10 the other way to mom and dad. So that,
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool. And I like that course because it's just kind of like, there's not a bunch of trees. Like it's super easy. It's not like the rough is super rough. Like it's basically just an extended fairway. They just mow it all really short. So
Yeah.
it's perfect for people that just want to drink and not like
Yeah.
get too competitive. But I will say the groups that we were in between were very competitive. And we're like stressing, like, oh my God, we have to like hurry and we have to. And then I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? F this. Let's just let this group play through us. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And we let this group play through. And then the next group is the same way. And it's like lightning speed golf. And but then I got the vibe when I saw the one group pass, like it was 2 younger boys, like not younger, but like high school age boys with their
Mhm.
dads. So you can tell they were like trying to hustle because they were like, yeah, we're just trying to get
We
this
want to
over with.
leave.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
I was like, oh, okay, you're not leisure here. This isn't leisure
Yeah.
for you when we're just here to drink and hang out. So,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
we had
that's so
one whole
fun.
we full on skipped because we were tired of these people being on our ass. So we just
Yeah.
said, screw it. And in the scorecard, we just put a question. Mark.
Who's to say?
Well, like we played
honestly?
like best ball. So it was like, you put a letter at each hole, like who had the better
Mhm.
shots. So it's not really like a numbers thing. It's more just like
Yeah.
who had the most good shots for that hole. So,
Yeah.
but I will say it's like riding a bike because I played golf in high school and haven't really touched a club since.
Mhm.
And I picked it right up and
Did you use your zebra bag or did you get a new one?
No, I actually this is a funny story. So last year, a year ago for my birthday, Peyton got me golf clubs because like I had gotten rid of my golf clubs when I went to college and stuff, and I was like, you know what, I want to start playing again. And so he gets these clubs off of Facebook, and they came with a bag, and I was like, oh, it comes with a bag, that's cool. And he's like, yeah, but was like, wait till you see the bag and see if you like it. And it is, I'm not kidding you, like zebra print, the entire bag. And I was like, I cannot go to a course and play with that. Like that
No.
was so obnoxious. And so I ended up finding a bag on Facebook for $30. So I bought a used bag.
Oh,
But now I'm
nice.
trying to get rid of this damn zebra bag. And
Yeah.
no one wants it. Sure
And you
enough,
have to burn it.
no one else wants it. And I'm like, I think I should just leave it in the attic, like when we move
Yeah,
we,
leave it for
like
the
our
next
house, we closed
guys.
on the house, we sold it. We're moving here in like what, 3 weeks.
Mhm.
And so I'm just gonna leave stuff like funny things that I don't want. And I'm just gonna leave it for them because we're there. It's Peyton's cousin. So I think
Yeah.
it'll be funny to just, I also need a life-size skeleton to put in the attic just to be funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
of different pranks, like
Just have
having
to
like
leave them.
heads in jars. Yeah.
It's so funny. I
Let me
think
know what you
it'll
come
be
up
so
with.
funny.
That would
I
be
know.
really good.
So I'm stoked. I'm
Yes.
pretty excited.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, so I'm excited. So yeah, we're gonna have to go play some golf some more.
Yeah.
Good times.
The only time I've actually been golfing, it was not good because I'm actually jealous. Like I all through high school, well, I guess during the fall, like I was always cheering and like busy, so I never had time to do that. But looking back, and at the time I was like, oh my God, that sounds so boring. Like I don't want to golf. No, that is such a useful skill because the one time I went golfing, we were still in Portland and it's like Clayton and two of his work buddies who are like actually pretty good. So I knew I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go have fun, like whatever. I'm just going to drink in the cart. But I did want to like try a little bit because
A
I've done
couple times,
Topgolf. Yeah, I've done Top Golf before and it was fine. And so mistake number one was I like obviously don't have my own clubs because I'm like, that's expensive. What if I don't like it? So I'm using Clayton's, which are like clearly too long
Men's
for
clubs.
me.
Yeah.
I'm like having to choke up on it. I'm not even on like the grip part. So that was a whole mess. It's also like 7 a.m. And I think
boy.
we played like I must have been April. So it was like really cold. And I went out and got like a whole outfit. Like I have these like, I have these golf pants that like make me look that I'm like not into men. Like I look
Your lesbian pants. Yeah.
yeah. And like no offense, like they're very comfortable. Like sometimes they're in storage,
Not wearing
but
that
like
to the club. Not
No.
wearing that out.
I wear these in like the comfort of my own home, but it was freezing, so I had to wear those. And I ended up, I like tried to do the first hole, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is really tough. Ended up crying because I was so embarrassed. I like
Oh my
eventually
God,
skipped
I can
every single
picture it.
hole, and I would just do the first shot because it's like a really nice course, and it was beautiful. Like you could see the mountains, like all the trees. It was amazing. I would go back. If I practice more or just to like literally hang out
I
and
think
not
you
with
need
these
to hit up the
people.
Country Creek golf course because it's a lot of bad mixed
Chill.
with people that are just here to drink. Like it's a very
Yes.
redneck course. Like it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's amazing.
But-
It's amazing.
I felt exactly what you said, how it was like these like old men are like super into it and they're like waiting behind us. And finally, like no one had to tell me. Like I knew I was like, this is too much. I'm just walking. Like I'm not doing anything anymore because I was so embarrassed because I'm like delaying everyone. I know that that's like not cool. So yeah, I haven't been back. I literally cried. And I don't
I
know
can
Clayton's
see it
friends
now.
super well. And he's like, Ashton, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm really bad at golf. And he's like, well, yeah.
And he's like,
and he
you're
was so
okay.
nice
And
about
he's
it.
like, is your girlfriend okay? Like, is she
And I ended up
crazy?
peeing behind a tree because there's no bathrooms, obviously.
That's
but
happened
I-
yesterday. Like Taylor, well, I was smart enough to go pee right before we left. And then when you see like a porta potty, you better go.
There
Which,
were no porta
honestly-
potties on this course.
Oh,
I
no, you had to
swear.
go. Yeah, Taylor tried to pee at behind a bush and she couldn't do it. She was like, I have stage fright. And I was like, there's no one here but us.
Yeah, no, I'm
She's like, I
literally
just
like,
can't.
I'm literally
was like-
pants down behind a tree, and Clayton's like blocking one side because where his friends are. I didn't account for the people coming the opposite way towards the hole on their carts. Straight cooch, just out. And I'm like, oh my God, Clayton. And luckily, I mean, I don't think they saw because they heard me scream. But yeah, so it's like just
It's
all in all,
amazing.
a really good experience.
Okay, well, we're gonna go again
So-
and then we can report back. So
Yes, we'll make a vlog maybe. Oh my God.
I love it. I love it. Oh my God.
Too
Well,
fun.
so yeah. So anyways, well, do we want to get into it? Or do you have any other points?
Yeah, let's do it. I had one funny story. This happened like 3 weeks ago. In literally my notes app, it says I almost pooped my pants at a national monument.
Nice.
So basically, and I don't know like what I ate that day. Like it just like, like sometimes there's those days where like
You're just a
it
little
hits you
sensitive.
and you have to go like
And you get the
right then.
McGurgles and you're like, shit.
Get the McGrumbles.
No pun intended.
Yes, literally. So Clayton and I, where our apartment is, we're like a couple blocks from the arch. So we'll walk to the arch like all the time and usually totally fine. But so we get there and I start to feel like something's not right. It's also like the first hot day of the year. It's like 90 degrees. So I'm sweating already.
Oh,
And so we get to the arch and I'm like, ooh, something's not right. But like, okay, like it'll pass. Like it'll be okay. We proceed to then like do our normal loop, like walk all the way around the arch. Like all in all, it's probably like a 30-minute walk. We walk around the arch. And so I know we probably have like 15 minutes before we're home. And I realized I don't have 15 minutes. Like this is happening now. And there's no bathrooms around. Like there's no porta potties. And even like I tell Clayton, I'm like, because he's trying to talk to me and he's like, Ashton, like, what's wrong? Like, you're not saying anything. And I'm like, I'm having a crisis. I'm having a medical emergency. And I can't even think right now. I can't speak. I'm sweating and I'm wearing like the little biker shorts. So I'm like pulling the front so it's not squeezing me. It was like,
oh my God. So it's not like, yeah, you don't need the pressure there. So you're just like, oh my God, oh my God,
yeah.
oh my God.
Have you ever been so close to pooping your pants that you start thinking like, you start accepting it? Have you ever been that close?
Like you're like, okay, when this happens, here's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. I start looking at trees and Clayton knows like we are in emergency mode. I'm looking at the trees. The trees are like the size of my finger. They're so skinny. There's no way I'm
hiding. It's not like you can go hide and poop.
And like, I know it's not going to be a clean break, if you know what I mean. Like, this is not it.
God.
And so as we're walking and I start accepting my fate, my destiny, I start accepting it. All I could think was, oh, I hope it doesn't run down my leg. Like, how embarrassing would
That's
that
all you
be?
can think.
Then I have to walk 15 minutes home. And Clayton's such a trooper because he knows, he's like, this woman has got to go. Luckily, there is a hotel like right past the arch on our way home. We run inside. Clayton's ahead of me. He's scoping out where the bathrooms are. He's like, Ashton, this way. I'm sure the front desk people know what's happening. And I have never disrespected a bathroom. I don't think I even locked the door. I couldn't figure it out in time. And I was like, this is it. People, they're going to hear me. They're going to know someone's in here. Yeah. I made it. I luckily made it. I'm like sending updates. I'm like, we're doing good. But then I was like, we should probably rush home though. Like, I don't think I think I'm living on borrowed time right now, Clayton.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I think everybody poops the pants. It's okay.
That was my second close call in my life. The first, I was in college and I literally almost pooped my pants in one of my best friend's cars. And that time, this will be my last. I'll say it. If you want to skip through this part,
I may change my story for the week because I have a good one that's work related, so it's good.
Oh, perfect.
So finish your story because this is funny.
Yeah, the only other time that I have been that close, I was literally in my friend's car, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And like we're on campus.
Were you good friends, or was it like a?
It was like my best friend, one of my best friends. Thank goodness. And so we're driving through campus. And oh my God. No, luckily, like
you knew each other so well.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, Sid, you got to pull over like right now. And she's like, Ashton, we're on like a busy street. Like the only buildings around us are like school buildings that I have never like
we go to school here.
It's like the agriculture building or something, like some place I've never been. So I don't know the layout. And I'm like, pull over. And I was like, you don't like your seats are cloth. I don't think they were leather. I'm like, this is going to be messy. Pull over now. I run into this building. I see the first person I see. I said, where's the bathroom? Like angry. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Like it's my first time here. And I'm like, okay. So I'm running down a hallway. I'm so close that I'm like, I'm going to go in the hallway. I have to go.
The turtle's poking. He's ready.
Prairie dogging for real. I finally find I'm like literally about to pull down my pants in this hallway, and I look and I see a bathroom. It's the men's bathroom. I'm like, I don't care. I rush
you?
in.
Shut
Luckily
up.
made it. I luckily made it. There's no one in there. It was like a
That's
Friday
amazing.
afternoon. But yeah. So hopefully third time is not the charm. But
Amazing.
I'm like,
I'm
no,
impressed
we've all
you
been there.
didn't just poop your pants, you know?
I
That's
was
amazing.
so close. I was
Oh
literally
my
so close.
God.
And that day we were on our way to go turn in our cheerleading uniforms for like the year the season was done. And so we get to the Hearn Center. I'm like, Sydney's like, oh my God, coach, we got to tell you what happens on the way here.
They told your coach?
Yeah, of course I told coach. Oh my God. And she is like, she's concerned, but she's like, oh my God, like that's so funny. Like you didn't get on the uniforms, did you? And I'm like, of course not, coach. I would never do that to you.
She was like, but did you get on the uniforms? Like,
and we had not an appearance that night, but they were doing some like athletic event for everyone. And it was like a inspirational, I don't know. Then you got to meet like a couple of the athletes. And then like everyone's going to a baseball game that night. And so we're literally, I persevere. I'm feeling so much better by the time this event happens. And so me and my friend show up again, and she's like, oh my God, Ashton, you should play a prank on coach. And like during this, go up to her and be like, I have to go. Like it's time. Yeah. So good times.
amazing. Wow. That's great.
Yeah. So
I'm
if
so proud of
you are in that situation, no, been there, girl. Been there, done that.
Wow. That's truly amazing. I'm so
I had to
proud
share
of
that.
you.
It happened like 3 weeks ago, still in my notes app. And I'm like, this needs
Yeah, that
to
had to be
heard.
shared. I'm happy you shared
Yeah.
that.
But
The people need to know.
Clayton was so nice, such a trooper. I dog on him. Actually, he was listening. He went down to the lake for Memorial Day weekend, and he was listening to our podcast. Biggest fan. He was catching up, and he had said something. Oh no, he said, he's like, I'm just so happy. Like you mentioned the shoes on the plane, but like you didn't go in depth about it. Cause like I really only did that once. And in my head, I'm like, so you clearly didn't listen to the previous
The
episode.
whole, yeah,
Because
where
I
you
did.
really, where she shit on you.
I did.
Ashton was angry
Thank
with
you so
Clayton
much.
that day. She was just like, here's my therapy that's going on the internet forever.
Yeah. So now I'm like, you know what? Learning. And I feel like for everything I dog on him for, I need to dog on myself, or just be like, you know what? He goes through a lot. Actually, he did something.
2 pros and a con, right? Like you need to compliment him twice and then you can shit on him once.
Yeah, like a compliment sandwich.
Yes, exactly. Then it's like it's forgiving that way. So that's amazing. Well, I'm excited. I haven't seen Clayton in a hot minute, and I'll see him today. So
Woohoo.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do we want to get into it? Let's do the news. So
This just in.
Do you want me to go first?
Do you want to go first? Yeah,
Yes?
you go first.
Let's just do
Switch
it.
it up.
Okay. This one, super not like work related, but I thought it was funny. So here we are. We're getting loosely on the work, which is fine. Eventually, this is just going to be called Case of the Mondays and not be anything about work. But we don't care. We're fine. We're here for it. Okay. So at the Louvre, where the Mona Lisa is, there was a man who seemed to have been disguised as an old woman in a wheelchair, threw a full cake at the Mona Lisa. And he was clearly arrested. He said, think of the earth. There are people who are destroying the earth. Think about it. Artists tell you, think of the earth. That's why I did this.
Me when I'm trying to reach word count.
It's like,
think about it, man.
Think about the earth. That's why he threw a cake at the Mona Lisa.
Oh my God. I actually almost picked this one because it was all over Twitter. And
it was all over.
I am curious because I'm like, okay, did he yell that in French or did he yell it in English? Because I think if he yelled it in French,
we just Google translate this because this is like a lot of the same sentence.
Well, it sounds weird. B, I'm assuming that most of the people, might be totally wrong, but I'm assuming that most people at the Louvre are tourists who probably speak English. I'm just thinking to be most effective. I hope he said it in English, but
is it would be funnier.
But the Google Translate, I am suspicious.
Think about the earth. Take that, Mona Lisa.
Boom. Me trying to start like a fight in the bar when I'm drunk. Think about it.
Think about the
Uh,
earth.
What's the
Yeah.
SNL skit where it's like the girl you don't want to run into at the
The girl you don't
party?
want to talk to at a party.
I think
Think
it's
about it,
secretly her.
Seth.
Think about it. Think about the art.
Nothing animals, Seth. Wow. So you're racist. It's
Oh
like,
my God.
okay.
Yeah. No, I saw that. Actually, I saw it like whenever on Twitter when it first happened. And then I was talking to mom yesterday and she's like, did you know that this woman? And I was like, you're going to lose your minds because it was a man.
It was a man dressed as a woman.
So,
Dressed up as an
yeah,
old lady.
that
Also,
was
what
strange.
was the benefit of that? Like they were still going to arrest you. Like why did you have
Yeah.
to be an old lady? Like if you were a man, it was going to be different. I don't know. That part I don't understand. So
Yeah, I
that's my
think you
news.
still would have gotten into the museum, dude. Okay.
No. So that's my news for the week. I just thought it was funny. Had nothing to do with work.
No,
So,
I liked it. I almost picked that one because it was so
yeah.
strange.
All right. So what you got? What you got for me?
So recently, a couple in Tennessee woke up and like they have two dogs already. And usually they cuddle with them at night. And so they woke up and they're like, oh, sweet. Like the dogs are cuddling us. They moved the sheets, not their dog. They've never seen this dog in their life. This dog,
Like the dog snuck in.
yeah, this like stranger, this dog broke into their house sometime at night, was able to snuggle their way into their bed. And so, of course, they wake up and they're like startled, like, oh my God.
What the hell? There's
And I
an
guess
animal.
when they tried to like get it out and the dog like just started snuggling more and they're like, okay, so not
So we own
threatening,
this dog now.
but this is strange. Yeah, I'm just like,
I would
what
have kept it. I would have been like, look, you did that's a lot of work for a dog. I'd like, we're going to keep you now. So
yes. Oh my God.
that's
Um,
amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the article now. And so they did eventually find the owner and they're like, oh, there were no hard feelings. They actually like set up a play date between all the dogs. But I'm like, oh my God, that is so crazy.
I'm impressed. Like he just finagled his way in and was just like, this is where I am now.
Yeah. And that the couple was like, our dogs do this all the time. Now I'm like, where were the other dogs? Did he kick them out?
Yeah. Like, oh my God. That's cool. I mean, so they kept it though.
No. So the dog like had an owner. So they found
Oh, okay. Okay.
the criminal dog, the breaking and entering dog. They found the owner, set up a play date between all the dogs. So they're like, oh yeah, like it was fine. But so
That's
funny.
so funny. I love it though. That's cute. Our stories for the week. I'm excited about this one. So I may save my poopy pants story for next time so we don't
Okay.
overload.
Yeah, I think
So-
we've reached our quota. Our
Yeah,
time
every
limit
episode
for-
there's at least something with poop, but poop's funny. So
just to make you guys feel better about yourselves, honestly.
we've all done it. We've all done it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So my story this week. I know we had like nurse appreciation, but now I'm like finding all these really great nurse stories. So
Mhm.
this one made me laugh. So I saw it I found it on TikTok. Again, forgot to get the username, but here we are. So this guy, and he was funny, like, cause you can tell he's like very like gay, flamboyant, like big
Mhm.
personality. So it's funny that he's a travel nurse and he has a whole thread of like stories.
Mhm.
So he's a travel nurse and he was visiting a patient who had like an abdominal wound. And the house was kind of chilly and she was in bed with a bunch of blankets on her. And he goes to pull back the blanket and here comes a snake head just pops out. And so he's like, what the fuck? Like, he's like freaks out and he about died. And he's like, why the F are there snakes in your bed? And she's like, casual. Oh, I just let them stay down there because the house gets a little chilly. And like, he was like, okay, why didn't you warn me about this? Like, I just feel like this is like something you should
Mhm.
warn the nurse that's coming to like check on your abdominal wound.
Yeah.
B, are you like having snakes just roam free in your home? Like, what
Are these-
psychopath?
Are
Like
these pet
pets? Like-
snakes or are they like from the wild snakes?
Yeah, he was just like, no. So
Oh my God,
Um,
no.
yeah, isn't that wild? I don't know who's letting snakes roam free in your home, but that should be illegal because
Straight to jail.
and you you should be arrested for that because
Mhm.
and not to warn people that you have pet snakes that are just free roam snakes. Like it's just like
Mm-mm.
what psychopath does that?
So my story this week also has to do with like nurses a little bit. So this is a story I heard over the weekends. One of my really good friends from high school, she isn't a nurse, but she works in a hospital. And she tells me, we're like out at dinner, and she's like, Ashton, I had to get escorted out of the hospital by like one of the security guards this week. And I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh my God, did you get fired, or like what happened? So basically, they have this patient, and this guy, how she made it sound was like, this guy does this all the time. Like he gets into legal trouble. Like he was like, has been to prison before, not like the best guy still after making all these mistakes. But he somehow ends up in the hospital, and he's trying to get them to like get him to see a psychiatrist to make him like basically say that he has like mental, like he's not stable or something, kind of how she made it sound, to like help his court case or something. And my friend is like, no, like you're totally fine. We're not going to go through the trouble. Like, I know you're sane. So like, that's not going to happen, buddy. He starts getting very angry and very aggressive. And he has already like expressed like a lot of hate and a lot of aggression towards women. And it gets so bad that like the hospital eventually, every nurse that he interacts with, they eventually change to like all men. All the staff that are like working with this guy are all men, except for my friend. The team or division she's with is the only department that doesn't have any men. And of course, she gets stuck working with this guy. And so she's like, okay, great. And literally there's signs on his door that are like, please no women, like this is dangerous. So she can't go in there unless she's with a security guard. Like, so the hospital is doing a great job of trying to keep everyone safe and everything. And so she's already kind of freaked out. And then she goes in to work on like a Friday, and they're like, hey, we just want to let you know something happened last night. And like, here's the situation. So the night before, and this guy, like I said, he kind of does this quite a bit, where he will like go to a hospital and be like, I need medical attention. And so he is so comfortable, or like knows so much about like when they do shift changes, like when certain things happen. And so he knew at like 8:00 that night that there was going to be a shift change. So he proceeds to, at that time, rip out his IVs and take off. So of course the next nurse comes back and they're like, this really dangerous patient is not in his room. And so the security, and how she said it, she's like, there's not as many cameras in this hospital as you think there would be, but there's cameras at every single entrance and exit. And so the security guys are going through the footage, and they're like, okay, we don't have him leaving for like the whole.
So he is in the
next day
hospital.
Yes.
He's still in the hospital, and they have no idea where he is. Wow.
Yeah. So that happened on like a Thursday night. My friend goes in on Friday. They tell her this. They're like, hey, you're already here, but we just want you to know that this really dangerous guy that hates women, you've been working with him, so he kind of knows who you are. And how she said it, she's like, all the scrubs are color coordinated. So like he would know, if he's as knowledgeable about the hospitals as we think he is, he would know like the different departments based on the scrubs, maybe. And so she's like, okay, cool. I'm already here. And so she did say, she's like, I went and like cried in the bathroom and called my parents, because like I don't feel safe, because like I can't have a security guard with me at all times. I still have to see these other patients.
What is wrong with like, people? Like, that's so messed up.
Yeah. So she told me this. So that happened on like a Thursday. She goes to work Friday. I think I saw her Friday night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, well, like, I know you're not working this weekend. Have they found him yet? Like, keep me updated. And at least when we saw her Saturday, I don't think they had found him yet.
They still hadn't found him. Yeah.
So her parents, when she called them crying in the bathroom, they were like, look, he's probably already left. Like, I don't think you need to worry about it. Like, you're secure. You're safe at work. And she's like, no, guys. They looked through the footage. Like you'd think they would let me know if he left. But also I'm like, I can't believe they didn't tell you.
I hope they find this man in the hospital, because that's wild.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to text her right after this and be like, hey, did they ever
update
find that guy? I just couldn't believe that they didn't tell her before she got to work that like, hi, there's this like dangerous criminal
Yeah.
patient in the hospital and he hates you. So peace. See ya.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I like that one. That was a good one. I like that we both had nurse ones or hospital ones.
I know,
again.
crazy. Yeah, no,
Wow.
I TikTok has been such a good resource, even though this was like a
I
story
love
from a
it.
friend. Like you can find stories on any occupation right now. Well, everyone's obsessed with Top Gun. And so I'm like, ooh, I wonder if there's funny like flight attendant or pilot stories.
Oh, there has to be like good military one. Maybe we do like a military theme episode.
Yeah. Is Peyton gonna get a mustache now?
He had one for a while and I was
Nice. This is
So-
so bad. And Clayton will listen to this, so don't get any funny ideas, buddy. But you remember he had a mustache for a period like 2 years ago. And now with all the Miles Teller stuff, I'm like, should I ask him to bring back the stash?
he will bring it back though.
He'll bring it back in a heartbeat. But when he did have it, it didn't look the same as the Top Gun stash. And so I'm like, I think we might need to like do some research on how to groom it or how to take care of it.
I
But
think his
'cause
was it was just like all
Corn
it was
stash.
like a lot. Like
It was a
all at once,
caterpillar. on his
Yeah.
lip. Yeah.
Peyton's is
Um,
very like chill. Like he can pull I like it. He can pull it
Yeah.
off.
But I kind of like, I'm like, ooh, I kind of like the
Miles
stashes.
Teller's stash is a little it just hits a little
Ooh.
different, you know.
It's different. Oh
It
my
just hits
God.
different.
And all the TikToks where it's like, take my breath away.
Oh
I
yeah, and
am,
he's
like-
dancing like this.
And the one, okay, so my favorite one is that like some girl was in the theater, and then it's like the next video is her like laying on the ground, like deceased. I'm like, literally. So
I love it. We
need to go watch
see
the
it.
movie for the
We need
plot,
to go see it.
the quote.
Yeah,
plot.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Well, I think we need to wrap up because we have some logistics with the
We do
birthday
have to
party.
go.
So we have now all of a sudden, why does the weather people do this? Like we were like, oh, we're gonna miss the rain. It's gonna be perfect. The rain's not coming till 4 or 5. Immediate just now, possible rain at 2 p.m. And we're like, so now we get to scramble because we've planned this outdoor party at a park. What are we gonna
Yeah.
do? I don't know. So
We'll
wish
figure
us
out. We'll
luck.
let you guys
give
know
an update.
next week.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Ashton. We'll see you next Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.